Alright, so we just got matched up with round 4. I'm here with Serifs. He's also 2-1. That last battle for me was kind of rough, but at the same time, good competition, so not too mad. Losses are bound to happen, it's just a matter of when. Sometimes they come at inopportune times. A lot of competition here today, so yeah, we're about to get this next round going. So.
Alright, so at this point I am currently 2-1, and I'm going up against Serifs. At this point he was a rival, but yeah, as you can see after the tournament he is now a challenger, so congratulations to him. But going into this battle I see that he has a Wigglytuff, and so I wanted to make sure I countered that Wigglytuff, so I brought in double poison. He's also bringing a Fortress, which will counter both my poison Pokemon, so I wanted to make sure I countered that for sure. Otherwise, I have a pretty neutral matchup against his other Pokemon. Now, he also has his own Noctowl, so, you know, either a mirror match or a positive matchup by bringing in my own Noctowl. But, yep, so that's what I brought in. A Dustox, Venusaur, and a Noctowl. And I lead off with Venusaur, I believe. So yeah, let's see how I do. Alright, so getting into this battle, I lead off with Venusaur, he leads off with Vespiquen. This is a terrible matchup, so I switch right away to my Noctowl. He switches into his Wigglytuff, so this was kind of expected. I get Sky Attack off. At this point, I'm switch locked. He let that go. So I'm going to get another Sky Attack off right here. So Wigglytuff's a good Pokemon. The only thing is its charge moves take forever to get to. Mainly because, so I decide to block this because I had a Sky Attack up already. So he's either going to have to burn a shield or give up switch advantage. So he decides to burn a shield. He has no more shields. So like I was saying, Wigglytuff is a good Pokemon, except its charge moves take forever to get to because, well, Charm just isn't a very big energy gainer. So I bring in my Venusaur, he brings out his Vespiquen. At this point, I let this X-Scissor go, neutral damage because I'm poison. I go ahead and use Sludge Bomb, neutral damage. He has no more shields, so I go ahead and switch into my Dustox. He has a Vigoroth. I have some energy stored up. I get the Silver Wind off. He has no more shields, so I have one more shield. I decide to block this right here. So going back and forth. And the reason why I want to keep my Dustox alive is because I know that he has a Vespiquen left, and Vespiquen is neutral to confusion, and it will be dealing not very effective damage to my Dustox. So I have a little bit of energy left, but he ends up wasting his energy right here to get this X-Scissor off, knock out my Dustox. I have a Venusaur left. I had just enough energy to get this Frenzy Plant off. GG.
Oh. Yeah, that was super close though.
I was like, why are you congratulating me?
I was able to pull that off barely. A couple more fast attacks I think would have done it. I just had a little bit of banked up energy enough to get it off. Barely though.
For this second battle against Serifs, I decided to switch it up a little bit. Instead of leading off with my Venusaur, I decided to bring in Vigoroth this time. And the reason why I bring in Vigoroth is because I'm suspecting he actually had the lead last round. So I'm either suspecting he's going to lead with Vespiquen again, or he's going to lead off with Noctowl. So if he does lead off with either one of those, at least my Vigoroth can kind of do some damage to it. And to Vespiquen, if it's Noctowl, then obviously Vigoroth will win that head-to-head matchup. But that's what I decided to do, just because I'm not sure what he's going to bring in. But other than that, I bring in Dustox and my own Noctowl. Let's see how it goes. Getting into this second battle, I actually led off with Noctowl, so I take that back, sorry. And I have Vigoroth and Dustox in the back. But this is a terrible matchup. I should have led Vigoroth, like I mentioned a second ago. but he's gonna get this Thunderbolt off, and I'm gonna shield that because it's gonna do tons of damage otherwise. I'm gonna get this Body Slam off, and he takes that Body Slam. Now his Lantern has no energy. He sends out his own Vigoroth. I'm gonna get this Body Slam off right here. My Vigoroth is locked, so I can't switch out of it. Get this Body Slam. I'm just gonna eat it because I don't know, maybe I should have shielded it so I could at least burn that other shield because I had some stored up energy already, but it is what it is. I send out my Noctowl because I know he still has a Lantern in the back. His Vigoroth is, I believe it's switch locked right now, and I want to be at least able to do neutral damage. So I don't know what his third Pokemon is, and it could be something else that will deal too much damage to me. So I bring out Dustox after his Vigoroth gets that Body Slam and knocks out my Noctowl. Gets his Body Slam off, I decide to forego shields because I don't know what he has left. And so he brings out a Lantern, I get the Silver Wind off, and again, he has no energy on his Lantern. So luckily I get to the second Silver Wind and knock out his Lantern. But unfortunately for me, his last Pokemon's a Noctowl, and he's just gonna finish me off with wing attacks. I'm gonna get this last second Sludge Bomb, but it's too late. He's GG.
So second battle, I lost that pretty handily, I would say. He outpicked me. I had bad team comp, but yeah, on to the third battle. See how I do.
For this last battle against Serifs, I decided to go with a lineup that I had some experience using, and that's leading off with Lantern, because if he leads off with either a Lantern, a Noctowl, or a Vespiquen, Lantern will win that matchup. And if it's a bad matchup, as in if it's a Vigoroth, I would switch straight into my Venusaur or something of that sort. At least that way I could guarantee a Lantern versus a Flyer matchup down the line. That's the theory, at least. Being able to actually execute it is a different story, and you'll see what happens. And I'll go over what I think I did wrongly, even though I had an advantage at the beginning. You'll see what happens, and I'll go over it at the end. Okay, so getting into this last battle against Serifs, and I get a great matchup in the lead. So it's Lantern versus Noctowl, and he's going to switch out into Vigoroth. Now, I did not switch out fast enough, and Vigoroth got a few counters and got that built up energy, and he's going to get a Body Slam off. Now, at this point, I think I have an advantage, because Venusaur does win against Vigoroth, but Vigoroth had a slight energy advantage, and that's going to allow him to get to an extra Body Slam, and you'll see what happens. So he gets a second Body Slam off. If I don't block this, my Venusaur will go down with tons of stored energy left. So I go ahead and just get this, block it, get this Frenzy Plant off, but he still has that extra shield, right? Now he sends in Noctowl and knocks out my Venusaur with a lot of energy stored up. I'm gonna wait out the switch clock and send out my Lantern. He's gonna get a charge move off. Unfortunately, it's a Psychic, and I'm gonna get this Thunderbolt off after that. Now, I could have farmed up a little bit more energy. I don't think it would have mattered too much, because I do get this Thunderbolt off on this Wigglytuff, and I switch into my Noctowl because I don't want him to charge too much energy, and Lantern had such little health anyways that, you know, I didn't think like I was going to be able to get another Thunderbolt off. He's gonna have this Ice Beam, knocked out my Noctowl, and Lantern, GG. Alright, so as I'm congratulating him, I'm trying to figure out how I lost that. I won the lead, I had a good counter against his switch in. How did I lose that? Now, let's take a look at the footage. I believe this is where I lost it. I did not switch fast enough against his Vigoroth. And you saw that, I think it was 3 or 4 counters. I think it was 3 or 4 counters that allowed him to get enough damage, get enough energy for that Body Slam. which is enough energy to get a third body slam off if I shield one of the body slams. Now, if he shielded this Frenzy Plant, he's going to get a second body slam off. And then we're going to race to the next charge move. And he's going to get that third body slam off before I can get my second Frenzy Plant off. And so what this means is that I had to shield. That's a wasted shield on my behalf. Otherwise, I would have the shield advantage on my part. So he outplayed me right here, and I believe that's where I lost the battle. And so we're still discussing it in the background, but pretty much I think, yeah, that extra shield won him the battle, and it was a good switch. It was bad on my part for not switching out of my lantern fast enough against his Vigoroth. So GG Serifs, you earned that for sure. I have to learn from my mistakes. On to the next one.
All right, so we have a familiar face, well, at least familiar to me. I met Echo at GoFest. We participated in the same open qualifiers where I barely beat her out, and you just started, and you're doing really well.
That's true.
And she's doing really well. So
Beginner's luck.
for those of you that are afraid to join PvP, like, don't be afraid. You can come in and just enjoy, and you can still perform very well. So we're matched up now in round 4, I think. Round 5 right now, and we're both 2-2. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Picking my team against Echo. Now, if you look at her team, do you notice that she's missing something pretty standard in most teams? Give you a second. Yep, it's Noctowl. And because she's missing Noctowl, I see a huge weakness in her team. So what do I decide to do? I decide to go double poison. So like a Noctowl would counter both my Venusaur and my Dustox, but because she doesn't have Noctowl, I can bring those two in, and she's gonna have somewhat soft counters for them. So like Dustox will kind of lose to Fortress, it'll kind of lose to Vigoroth, but otherwise, like, it's kind of like really murky, right? Like, it's not a hard counter. So what I decide to do is bring Venusaur, Noctowl, and Dustox. Noctowl to take care of that Fortress, and to take care of her Venusaur, and even do a good amount of damage to Vigoroth and Beedrill. So let's see how I do. Alright, so getting into this battle against Echo My Echo, or Echo as she's known on Soph.gg. So Dustox versus Venusaur, perfect matchup for me. Those confusions are going to be dealing super effective damage to it, but she switches to Lantern. Now, again, this is perfect. I have a Venusaur just for that situation, and she's going to get a charge move off, but not very effective damage. So I'm going to charge up a couple more Vine Whips and get off my Frenzy Plant. So this is going to knock her out if she doesn't block. Yep, she blocks. So she's going to get a couple more Water Guns, but I have enough energy to get off this second Frenzy Plant. Knocks out that Lantern, and now she's deciding what Pokemon to bring in. And so she brings in her own Venusaur, and unfortunately I did not have enough energy to bait that shield or deal any kind of damage, so she uses a Frenzy Plant, but that's okay. She no longer has any energy. I bring out my Noctowl, and she's gonna get off this Sludge Bomb, and I'm definitely gonna block this. I have 2 shields. She's gonna switch into her Wigglytuff, and I switch into my Dustox. So she's switch locked now, and this is perfect. I'm gonna get the Silver Wind off, expecting a shield, which she does. And she's going to get this charge move off, and I'm going to block this because it's going to deal a lot of damage even though it's neutral damage. Get this Sludge Bomb, almost get her knocked out. One more confusion, GG. Oh, 1 second, she still has a Venusaur left, and that Venusaur is going to get a charge move off. Frenzy Plant almost knocked me out, but not quite. Silver Wind, GG.
Alright, so that was the first battle. I think I have your counters.
Yeah, yep.
Right now. but at the same time, like I just got lucky with the lead as well. So yeah, on to the second battle.
Getting into this second battle, I decide not to change anything. I think I won that last battle pretty handily. So, and my team composition pretty much directly counters her team. So I didn't feel like I needed to make any adjustments. I think it's up to her to make the adjustments for my team. And then I can make the adjustments again if I need to for the third battle. So again, leading off with Dustox, bringing in Noctowl, and also having Venusaur in the back. So let's see how it goes. Getting right into this second battle. Lead off with Dustox, she leads off with Beedrill. Now again, this is a good matchup for me because Confusion is going to be hitting those poisons for super effective damage. She decides to stay in, she's going to get a charge move off, but not very effective damage because Dustox is poison and bug. So I'm just going to stick around with those confusions. She's going to get another charge move off, Xers her this time. I decide to block it just because I know I have a lot of stored energy and I want to be able to get it off on the next Pokemon. She decides to bring in Venusaur. So I'm going to get this Silver Wind off right now. And look at that, a boost. So I get my second Silver Wind off and it does nearly half her damage. And those confusions are going to be dealing a lot of damage. She's going to use another charge move. Frenzy Plant, not very effective damage. And I got that boost. So she brings in Vigoroth. I'm going to get this other Silver Wind off. And more than half its health in damage. And get this other Silver Wind. That's crazy. My Dustox just wiped her team. That's so ridiculous. GG.
Oh yeah.
I was able to pull it off. I think I saw one flaw in your team, and I tried to expose that.
No, that's good. It lets me know the next time.
Yeah, I mean, like, it comes with experience. Again, you haven't been playing that much, and I think you have a very good team, but I was just like, okay, she doesn't have enough. I need to take advantage of it. That's why I brought Dustox and Venusaur.
So after that, we talked a little bit more about her team composition and things like that, but I kind of wanted to go over this battle again real quick. I got extremely lucky that I led Dustox against her Beedrill, and I think she should have switched right here, but at the same time she switched, I would have switched, and then I still would have had Dustox. So I'm not sure. I think she could have made a little bit different decisions, but I also think she made an okay decision by leaving Beedrill in. But I do think I got extremely lucky by getting a boost with just a little bit less than 50% of my health, especially with Dustox. That is so tanky, and I also have a lot of energy built up, and I think it was just like the perfect storm. So it's not, I just don't think she could have played it too much better than she did with the circumstances that were up against her. But yeah, crazy how strong Dustox with that 50% boost in offense and defense can really do. Just goes to show you that these stat boosting moves can really swing a match very fast.
Okay, so I'm here with Mustache Mark. We got paired up for the last round for the tournament. I'm currently 3-2. Are you 3-2?
3-2.
3-2. So we'll see if we go 500 or slightly above 500. Good luck, man.
Either way, even 4-2, it's like the best of them.
Hi, Mom.
Okay, going into this last round against Mustache Mark, I wanted to say hello, Mark's mom. How's it going? Anyways, going into this last battle, I look at his team and I see he has a pretty balanced team, a team that I've seen before. So I just want to kind of do a more conservative lineup this time because this is the last round. I wanted to have a good record, but unfortunately you'll see what happens. But this first round I go with Lantern, Vigoroth, and Noctowl. A pretty standard lineup, very balanced lineup in my opinion, and The idea is to make sure I take out his flying type Pokemon with my Lantern. So by leading it, that guarantees that I will have Lantern in a positive matchup, even for part of it at least. So yeah, let's see how I do. So like I mentioned, I lead off with Lantern. He leads off with Vespiquen. This is a good matchup for me. He's going to switch out right away into Vigoroth, and I'm going to switch into my own Vigoroth. He's going to get a Body Slam on me. I think I got a piggyback right there. And so I'm going to get my Body Slam off right here. And he's going to block that. He's going to get a second Body Slam off right here. And I let that one go. And I get a Body Slam off right before my Vigoroth faints. And that knocks out his Vigoroth. He has one shield. He's down a Pokemon. And he sends out Vespiquen. And Vespiquen is... yeah, he knocks out my Vigoroth right away. So I send out my Noctowl, and again, this is a positive matchup, but he has a Lantern, but I send out my own Lantern. He does have a shield advantage. I have a slight energy advantage, but not a very large one. So I get that Thunderbolt off. He had a shield, so luckily I have a shield. And we block that. And now I'm going to get my second Thunderbolt off. This is going to deal a decent amount of damage. He's going to get a Thunderbolt off right here. And almost knocks me out, but not quite. It's going to come down to the wire. I think his... yep. And I had a Thunderbolt charged up already. But I have this Sky Attack. See if it knocks him out. It does. And he has Vespiquen left. And so this is a positive matchup, and I should be able to knock out Vespiquen with a Sky Attack once I get it. But man, that Power Gem does so much damage. Sky Attack, GG. For this second battle against Mustache Mark, I decide to switch it up a little bit. I am going to lead with Venusaur. I'm hoping that he's going to lead off with Vigoroth or Lantern, or even the mirror match against Venusaur will be okay. So, and I also bring in Vigoroth and Noctowl, just because those two Pokemon are going to counter a large chunk of his team, or a neutral matchup against a lot of his team. So yeah, let's see how I do. Okay, so going into the second battle against Mustache Mark, lead off Venusaur, Vespiquen. He led the same Pokemon. Bad matchup, I have to switch right away. I switch into Vigoroth, he switches into Vigoroth. So this is a mirror match. He may have gotten a piggyback, I'm not quite sure. He gets a Body Slam off. So I'm going to block right there. And back and forth, I'm going to get a Body Slam off. Block that. Back and forth again. I got a piggyback right there, but I have very little health. I'm just gonna let that go. Now I have a shield advantage, but he has the switch advantage. So I'm gonna try to farm up this Vigoroth, but I don't knock him out in time. He gets that Body Slam, and yeah, that hurt. Sends out Vespiquen. I have a Sludge Bomb ready. Do a decent amount of damage. I switch into my Noctowl. He switches into his Lantern. This is a terrible matchup. I get the Psychic off, but he switched so fast that I'm not going to be able to get to a second Psychic. Unfortunately, I am going to shield this because I need to do some kind of damage, and I believe my Venusaur is so low on health already that yeah, it's not going to be able to do anything. He's going to get this other Thunderbolt off, knock out my Noctowl. I have Venusaur barely do any damage. I have no energy. Vespiquen has a charge move, and that's GG. Right, so for this last battle against Mustache Mark, I realized that that last lineup was probably not the best decision. So I decided to go back to the first lineup, which is Lantern, Vigoroth, and Noctowl, and hope to replicate my results from the first battle. And the reason why I do this is because I want to make sure that I knock out those flying type Pokemon. Yeah, let's see how I do. Alright, so getting into this third and last battle against Mustache Mark, I lead off Lantern, he leads off with the Vespiquen again. Good matchup, but he switches right away. He sends out Vigoroth, he got a couple of extra hits on me, and I think that is what changed the battle. So I'm going to get a Body Slam. He may have gotten a piggyback off of me, so he has more energy. So he's going to get another charge move off right here. And I decide not to block that, and I'm not going to get to a second Body Slam. I'm going to send out my Lantern and try to do some more damage and try to knock him out with fast attacks, but it doesn't work. He gets a Body Slam off. I decide to shield that, knock him out with one more fast attack. He's going to send out his own Lantern, and now I'm going to go ahead and use this Thunderbolt. I believe he has a shield, and he shields that up. And luckily I have some energy, so I'm going to use another Thunderbolt right here. And he lets that go because he has no more shields. I'm going to switch into Noctowl, and he's going to use Thunderbolt. It does super effective damage, but that's okay. He's going to switch right here into his Vespiquen and take the Sky Attack. He's going to keep on farming, but he's going to knock me out with Exeter right here. And I bring out my Lantern. Now, my Lantern has like no energy, and he gets a charge move with very little health left. That's so unfortunate. Now, my goal is to try to get to this Thunderbolt before he knocks me.
Oh my god! Oh. So, 3-3. Mustache Mark. Oh, sorry. Mustache Mark. So Mustache Mark pulled it off. It was a close game. I had Thunderbolt at the last second, which would have won it for me, but switching and piggybacking came into play, I think. Good job. Congratulations, man.
Still best in my book. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Congratulations. 3-3, not too bad. 500 against good competition, so I can't be too mad. There's definitely some things in terms of technical aspects that I have to work on, like strategies, piggybacking, energy management that I need to do better on. But overall, I'm pretty happy with my performance. 500.
Anyway, it's the game, man.
Yeah, just see how it goes in the next tournament. But thanks for watching.
Not now.